Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again. Here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing a video review for the first episode of a new television series that is of Robert Rodriguez's From Dusk Till Dawn. All right, good stuff. So a few people asked me to go ahead and do a review for this series. I haven't seen every episode yet, but from what I know of it, basically it's being received pretty well. It's a Netflix original, so you guys, if you're subscribed to Netflix, you can go ahead and check it out. It is also posted online on other websites and that kind of stuff, all over the internet. As usual, most good shows are for the most part. So this one's a pretty big one. Robert Rodriguez is one of those, big Hollywood producer, directors, I guess you could kind of call him. He kind of works with both. And I did see the original movie back from, I think it was the 90s, right? The 90s, yeah. From Dusk Till Dawn, the movie, unless it was late 80s. I think it was the 90s. But that was developed by Robert Rodriguez with Quentin Tarantino. With Quentin Tarantino also playing one of the lead characters, one of the Gecko Brothers, the crazy one. Then we also had George Clooney playing the other brother, the other Gecko brother, because there's obviously two of them. And they're basically I want to say, our lead characters for this series, at least in the premiere they are. And they were, for the most part, in that movie as well. Now, in terms of what I remember from the movie, it's been over 10 years since I've seen it, probably more like closer to 15 years since I've actually seen the movie. I remember it as being kind of a fun movie, just kind of a silly, out there, not take it too seriously type of shut your brain off and just enjoy it for what it is kind of movie. Most of Robert Rodriguez's movies are like that. If you guys have seen, Predators? Yeah, I think he worked on. Yeah, I think he did work on Predators. He's worked on a lot of movies. Of course, everybody knows Quentin Tarantino. All of his movies are absolutely amazing. Django Unchained recently, and then of course Pulp Fiction, and all the others he's done have been incredible. Really solid work every time you see Quentin Tarantino. So the old movie, I do remember some things of it. I remember kind of the vampires, monster type influence, which is back in the TV series. And most of all, I remember Selma Hayek in that movie. Probably most people do. It's like the defining factor of the movie. Yeah, remember that. It's probably the only thing I can remember her being good in. I haven't seen many of her stuff anyway, many of her movies or anything anyway. But anyway, the movie itself was good, and I guess it has some kind of cult following because they've decided to go ahead and do a TV series for it. Now, my interpretation of this is like a prequel type series to the movie. Of course, you don't have Quentin Tarantino back. He's not returning in any capacity as far as I know. But you do have actors that look quite a bit like him, like the actor they chose who looks quite a bit like him and does play the role pretty well of this kind of just quirky, weird kind of crazy guy, essentially crazy Gecko brother. Then you have the other one who was George Clooney in the original movie, who's returning as well too, but it's not actually Clooney, of course. It's somebody else entirely, another actor who I've never seen before. But the actors that have replaced those two, I think they do a pretty good job. They sell the performances pretty well, and they play off each other good as brothers in that type of circumstance should. So for the premiere, I'll try to avoid any kind of major spoilers if you guys haven't seen it yet. Most people, I imagine, that will be watching this video will just want to hear my thoughts on whether or not the show is any good, the series is any good. So from what I gather from the premiere, it's a pretty intense premiere. Basically, you have the brothers are wanted. I believe they're wanted for robbery. The one was boosted from jail by the other, and essentially they're on their way to the Mexican border to try to be free. Basically, if they cross the border, then they figure they can be all right. They've got some contacts on the other side, and essentially as they get closer and closer, the one brother goes crazier and crazier, and we kind of have some flashes, influences on some monsters, or this kind of thing starts having an influence. In this episode, it's not much. It's just him kind of having him seeing things, him having some premonitions, stuff like this. And neither of them, I believe, has any kind of special abilities at this time. So they're not vampires or anything like that. Later on in the series, I'm sure we're going to start seeing a lot more of that kind of stuff. This one is more like them with their firearms. At a pit stop, they stop basically at a convenience store, gas station type deal, and they're wanted. And a police officer, a sheriff, so to speak, just happens to stop there to check it out and kind of come through. In the process, there's some two girls that are there that are taken hostage. You've got the shop owner there; he's there as well, and you've got the Gecko Brothers, and they're basically trying not to get caught. But the one is crazy, so he gets the other one into a lot of trouble just with these weird things he's seeing and being super suspicious and super. The word I guess I want to use is he's being overly cautious and aggressive. So he hears the sheriff talking to the owner of the convenience store, and he essentially thinks they're talking in some kind of code. He's kind of nuts, so he goes out and blasts the guy. Then, of course, his partner's there outside. You get this standoff kind of situation where the sheriff inside's dying. The guy at the counter, the owner of the gas station is in a lot of trouble. You've got the female hostages, and then you've got a cop on the outside who would radio for backup, but can't in this type of circumstance, in this type of situation. So it's pretty exciting. It's pretty intense for a premiere episode. I think it's kind of cool that it's kind of like a prequel to what the movie was. I didn't know, like, this universe I think was created mainly by Rodriguez and Tarantino. I don't think there's any kind of other stuff out there for it. I don't think there is anyway. So I would say overall, I think it's kind of a fun universe. I didn't know if there was enough to it with just the movie. I know it's a cult classic type movie to create a TV series for it. But, I mean, it's kind of cool whenever you have tie-ins like that to other things. Like you have a TV show that's tied into a movie or something like that. I think it helps with it because you have more content out there for it. You can get crossover appeal from fans for it. So this one, the premiere, is pretty intense. The only thing I have trouble with is the characters. In a TV series, to lure us in and want us to keep watching, we have to like and care about certain characters in it. Now, in this one, the two lead brothers are bad guys, essentially. They're not good guys. They're murderers. They're, one was in prison for a while. The other one springs him. They're not your atypical, good guy leads. They're the opposite. So they're the bad guys. They're wanted. Later on, we kind of get some good characters brought in, of course, with the sheriffs and that we can feel related to. But because of the events of the movie, you kind of know that these Gecko brothers are going to win for the most part, or at least going to get away and be able to cross the border. They're going to succeed in it because of the movie's release prior. So to get my thoughts on the premiere itself, it is good. The only thing I have trouble with is not enough likable characters, I would say, because they're bad guys, essentially. But if you're into that, if you're into following a bad guy who's just like a straight, bad character, evil character, then this is definitely something you would like. If you like vampires, if you like standoff type scenes like that, definitely you could check out the premiere, see if it's interesting enough to you to continue to watch the series. I believe it has been renewed for a second season already, so there's going to be a second season coming up for it. And all in all, I mean, I think it's pretty good. It's pretty unique. It's got some good drama to it. It's got some good action. The acting is on point for the most part. I think it's pretty good. And all around, if you like that kind of style with vampires, action, guns, that kind of cross where it's like your leads are not just your atypical good guys, but in this one they're the bad guys, and then you have others that are trying to stop them, and who do you root for, and this whole type of thing. If you're into that, if you like that, then I definitely say check this one out. Give it a view, see what you think. In terms of score from me, the only thing, like I said, is that the characters, I don't know how likable a lot of the characters are. People may flick off because they may say, you know what, I don't want to watch a show that's based around two brothers that are bad guys, basically, that are going to win, essentially. So, and we know that from the movie. So in terms of score, I'm going to give this one a 7.5 out of 10. It's definitely not bad. It's got some good action in it. It's got some good fun. It's got some I guess great intense moments where what's going to happen, what's going to happen next with the standoff and everything. And it's building up this background to this From Dusk Till Dawn movie, I guess, and TV series now universe. So if you guys got a chance to check it out, let me know what you think about it. Let me know what you thought about the movie, if you can remember anything from it, if you did see it. I know it's kind of one of those movies called classic, but a lot of people haven't thought about it for a while, haven't seen it for a while. And I don't remember enough to give you an honest opinion of the movie. I just remember it was good and that there was some fun stuff about it. That's pretty much all I got to say for the premiere, the pilot, season 1, episode 1, From Dusk Till Dawn, the series. Let me know what you guys think about it. If you want to see more reviews from it going forward from maybe some of the other episodes, let me know. If you got a chance to check it out, let me know what you think, and I'll call it here. That's it for this video, guys. I'll see you for the next one. This is Trev. As always, saying my piece.